We have Allison O'Connell.
Thank you, Gabe. Sorry about my voice, it's a little scratchy. I hope you'll bear with me through that. So as Gabe said, I'm Allison McGonigal O'Connell. I'm the community manager for Editoria at the Collaborative Knowledge Foundation, also called COCO for short. I want to thank Gabe for inviting me today, and those who know me know that talking about work is one of my favorite things to do. So I'm really excited. Before COCO, I spent time, I spent about 5 years working for proprietary software as a service vendors, and then before that, I spent a lot of time working at commercial publishers. So I've worn many hats across this time. And so my job as the Editoria community manager at COCO is new to me as of just this March. And interestingly, it seems like it's newer for scholarly publishing as well. So there's some marketing and communications roles in this space that have the word community within the title, but actually facilitating the development of community around open source technology is sort of new within this space. So there are actually a few others around the meeting that I've noticed yesterday and today with this title. And actually, we've been chatting a little bit that we need to all meet up and sort of share notes. And in a few minutes, I'll return to why I think that would be particularly useful. But anyway, this role is not so new in the overall world of open source technology, so the broader picture of open source. My employer, COCO, is a nonprofit organization that was founded within the past few years by Kristen Rattan and Adam Hyde. And their goal is to create open source shared infrastructure for books with the product Editoria, journals with a product called XPub, and micropublications. So those are sort of the three use cases they're developing. And Editoria on the book side is specifically where my role fits in. Editoria is an open source, browser-based books production workflow system, and it was developed collaboratively. So think by the users, not necessarily by a tech company. And these users were at the University of California Press and the California Digital Library. So we call them the founders of Editoria. And COCO's role is as a technology partner. And this was all made possible by a generous grant from the Mellon Foundation. My job is to leverage all of these resources and to grow early adopters now that Editoria is here and is a real thing. And also, it's important to nurture a growth of community around the tool. So what does community mean in this context? It means sharing, basically. Sharing resources, sharing code, and sharing solutions to problems or collaborating to solve problems together. And so it's my job to really facilitate some of the community members with similar problems actually working together to find those solutions. So day to day, what does that look like? So once again, with my many hats, it's a bit of marketing and comms, and that is a little bit different than the traditional model that we've seen within our space, because it's really leveraging the community to sort of tell the story. And it's a lot more, you know, bringing people who hear the message to you, people who are interested in partnering and for whom, you know, we're a fit, we'd be the right partners. And so examples of some ways to get at that have been, you know, doing webinars and live events at meetings like this, opportunities like the Open Source Bazaar session yesterday. And so where the message isn't just about collaboration, but it's best told via collaboration. So collaborating with other open source organizations within the space, and also with community members who are using these tools. So BizDev, a little bit of BizDev. It sounds salesy, but what I mean is just thinking strategically about how to solve problems and how to present solutions in helpful ways. And then a bit of product management, so understanding what prospective adopter needs might be and working with prospective adopters to sort of traffic their feedback all the way back to the dev team and get them what it is that they need and want. So these are some of the highlights of my job as it's been over the past 2 months, and literally every day is a school day. I learn something new every single day, and I see that as part of the nature of community management and not necessarily sort of like a function of my newness, although, maybe in a year I might say differently. So I think I'm out of time, so I will close. You can see some of the other things I've done, and we can chat more later. But overall, this opportunity specifically was so exciting to me because it's work that has really meaningful impact and a lot of opportunities to collaborate, both with other community managers in the space, but also with people who are interested in speeding up publishing. So thank you so much.
Thank you, Allison.